Sweet, beautiful soul, welcome back. So today I come to my journal absolutely beside myself. And when I share with you why, you will see I am just a different breed of human. And as are we all, unique and special in our own ways. And really, what I have been working through and looking at, and this is going to provide you with such a life-changing perspective as it was for me, because I've been working through this for quite some time now, and today it was like the blinds opened, the window, like the heavens, the clouds parted, the heavens were there. Like it's like I see it so much more clearly now. And so what is this that I am referring to, alluding to, and talking about? So recently, when I was a recent podcast I was interviewed on, and she asked me what I have been asking Spirit and what Spirit has been sharing with me. And something that I have been working through for the past few weeks that I'm sure I'm not alone, and so this is why we're going to be having this conversation today, is when to be rooted and steadfast in my beliefs and when to be open and available and really a student to new perspectives, new beliefs, new teachings, new awarenesses. And this is where I found myself in really grappling with when am I so rooted in what I believe I know to be true versus when am I being asked to surrender and let go and really be a student, because I am always a student of life, as should we all be. And I don't even want to say should, because it's your choice. It's your life. I have chosen to be a student of life because I find that there are lessons and teachings for me in every single moment of every single day. And I find when I embrace life in this way, I'm able to grow and expand, because when we are very tunnel visioned, it's really difficult to grow and expand and learn. And so I'm going to be sharing a channeled message that I received from my higher self today in regards to this topic, because what I have found, and so even just yesterday with a client that I was seeing, she was expressing to me how she has struggled with feeling like other people don't understand her perspective and her belief when it comes to the way that she eats, particularly her children and clients and things like that, because she has a very, and it's not even unique, it's just, and I don't want to like share too many details, but she has a way of living and eating and healing the body that she believes to be true because it's worked for her. And so this is what happens with many people is we do something that works for us, and then we believe that that is the truth, that is the way, and then we get to learn all over again, because oftentimes things will reemerge and arise and opportunities for us, right? That's completely what happened for me. Like I was like, oh my goodness, hypnotherapy is like the way. And it's incredible. It has helped so many people, but there are also other modalities and a time and a place for everything, for everyone, right? So when do we become so steadfast and so rooted in a knowing? Perhaps, I mean, I go on social media now, and with my background in health and wellness, I see people talking about these perspectives, and they're so rooted to, and I have found personally, I am actually finding it fascinating and light and fun to, I don't know, it's like it's a curiosity of entertaining all of these perspectives, whether it is veganism or carnivore or anything in between. And so while I may not necessarily agree with these ways of eating and life, I'm I'm fascinated and I'm intrigued as to what these people are saying and what led them there and how they have healed and how it's changed their life and transformed their life. And I think this is amazing and incredible. And that's why I keep myself open. I keep myself open to, I used to believe that there was a certain way of eating that was good. And now I'm seeing more and more. And I've had this belief for quite some time that there is always a time and a place for different diets, different ways of eating and living and working out and lifestyles and perspectives, right? So I feel like yesterday with this client, it really was like the tipping point of me of like, because I felt how rooted she was to this way of living. And who am I to tell her? I mean, people like some people's beliefs when it comes to food and diet are like as strong, if not stronger, than their political party. Like you are not going to change them in a conversation, let alone like, and people don't want to be changed. And so rather than telling people what they should be doing, what they should be eating, what they should be voting for, what they should be, no, the opportunity is to, and this is what really was coming through for her, is like the opportunity is for you to become so strong and confident in what you believe to be true that others will come to you and simply ask, what are you doing? Like, tell me more about what you're doing. Because you are radiating out that frequency of vitality, of life, of vibrancy, right? And so I think we should dive into the channeled message because this channeled message shifted me and transformed me and illuminated to me that there are two types of beliefs. And we're going to get into those. There are the fixed ones and the transient ones. And which ones should be fixed and which ones should be transient. And I was blown away by this. So I am so excited to share this with you because when we learn these, when we embrace these, now we know, and I really believe like this is the age of Aquarius. This is what we're evolving into, is that there is not a right way. There are stages and levels of consciousness and things that serve every single iteration of every single person's journey and our journey in our lives. And so who are we to say that one way or one thing or one anything is right or wrong or good or bad? It probably serves a divine purpose. So with that, I just invite you to just really receive these words. There's always a different frequency with channeled messages that I just invite you to not only listen with your ears, but listen with your heart. And so with that, let's dive in. To be strong in your pillars of truth, of God, of truth, of love. To be steadfast in certain beliefs and lenient and malleable in others. Thus, sifting and sorting into categories. Things that are transient versus fixed. Transient beliefs would be what to eat, how to eat, what is best to eat, how is best to live, what routines are best, what beliefs are best, what things are best. Fixed beliefs would be the love of God, the power of God, the truth of God, the will of God, the opinions of God, the universal laws, and you, a child of divine source. Now, holding strong in your fixed beliefs allows you to be open to interpretation, expansion, growth, illumination, and new transient beliefs. For certain things will serve certain people at certain times. And this is why intuition is the ultimate gift and ultimately what needs to be relied upon. For if you hold so tightly onto the belief that one way of eating is good, or one way of doing things is good, or one way of perceiving things is good, without testing and looking into the particular energy, you are missing the calibration point. For some ways of eating, beliefs, ways of thinking, doing, and perceiving serve a certain consciousness, serve a particular step in one's journey. To eat one way, believe one way, perceive things a certain way. They serve certain points and steps in a person's journey through consciousness. And then, when reflections arise, conflict arises, or disharmony arises, this is when you know it is time to re-examine beliefs. It is time to re-examine thoughts, perspectives, and ways of eating, doing, seeing, and believing. And so now you open yourself up as a student ready to learn. Casting out the vision, net, and intention that you may find, receive, and know what is true for you now. What serves you now? What will elevate you most now? And then from this space, you are fertile ground for the right teachers, teachings, lessons, skill sets, and wisdom to come into your awareness. You may root to these as long as they improve and elevate your life. But the moment reflections, disharmony, dis-ease, dissatisfaction arise, you will know it is time to re-examine your beliefs. And so ultimately, to hold steadfast onto the only fixed beliefs above is the key to creation, manifestation, and living an incredible life. A life of being truly free, truly aligned with growth, truly aligned with God. To fixate on any dogma of science, of what is taught by one person or one collection of people's perspectives, is to miss out on the vast, infinite realm of potentialities of what could serve and support you now. This also helps you release judgment towards others, as you can come to know that perhaps their way, their belief, their knowing is serving their step in their elevation of consciousness. And so if you can see that it is not based off their life, and so if you can see that it is not serving them based off their life and the reflections they experience, it is not your job to fix them, but rather to offer a lens of perspective and perception that allows them to tap into their inner wisdom, resources, and knowing within them. For then to glean and gain their own inner wisdom, their own inner truth, and for them to come into and know the power of God within them. That God is not a thing that you must learn or seek or do, but to come deeply open to remember within you. God wishes for all children to learn, grow, expand, and thrive. And part of that is through taking on different beliefs, perspectives, and different iterations of self and identities. And so, from this perspective, the only thing that you may wish to be an expert in is intuition, is developing guidance, love, and trust with God. and in learning to deeply master the laws of reality. And from here, the transient solutions, perspectives, and identities will make themselves known. So, breathing that one in, there's a lot there for us that I'm still digesting, but I was so excited to share with you all. And what a beautiful way to perceive things, that we can root to any beliefs, but the moment that we begin to see reflections and disharmony, dis-ease, and things not going the way that we want and desire, we have our opportunity to now, okay, maybe there's a new perspective or belief that would serve me better, right? And I believe when we can view things in this manner and in this way, we are now in the miracle frequency. We're now in the frequency of living in alignment with our truth, which I love saying the miracle frequency. If you're not in the miracle frequency, my goodness, details are below. Join us in living as a living, walking, breathing miracle, which this whole 8 days to miracle and beyond is designed to anchor you into really fully, deeply rooted in you and God, you and source, you and the universe, you and truth, right? You and you. What is your soul guiding and leading and teaching you to? This is what the miracle frequency is. And as you can see, there are always going to be layers and levels and depths, because if we're not growing, life is pretty boring. If we're not expanding, life is going to get really boring really quickly. We think we want everything to be great and perfect all the time, but really that would be so incredibly boring. Our soul wants things to overcome and to grow and expand and learn and create and become, because this is why we came. We didn't just come to eat chocolate and watch television. That would be a very unfulfilling life. And while sure, there are moments, times, opportunities to do that, this is not ultimately what you want. You want to be living, growing, and expanding and becoming what your soul came here to do. And how we do this is through, or how we do this rather, in a harmonious way, because there are disharmonious and harmonious ways to go about our growth and expansion. And how we can do this in a more harmonious way is mastering the laws of the universe. I've been learning these, and my goodness, it changes everything. When we honestly, I'm just like, at this point in my life, I'm like, why don't we just teach children the laws of the universe and everything else would sort itself out? like I look back and I'm like, I wasn't taught anything about how the universe actually works. Like, sure, I was taught about gravity and that the body has cells and blood and organs and tissues, and so I was taught the science of it, but not the source science of how do things actually work? How do we actually work? How does energy actually work? And it's okay. This deep hypnosis that we are evolving out of and expanding out of, because again, challenge and conflict and all of these things create opportunities for growth and expansion. And this is what we are in right now. This is what we're witnessing on a collective level. This is what we're seeing in our world. And what a beautiful thing that is, because through that we grow and expand and evolve, and we get to become closer to God, source divine, that is within us. So I'm going to leave it at that. I would really recommend listening to that channel portion again, because there are layers and levels and experiences within it. I really like to see channeled messages are like zip files. It's like within it are 10, there's the base level, and then there's the energetic levels all beneath that. So with that, And if you're seeking to really understand your intuition, this is where one-on-one work or a health report or the miracle frequency. These are the three ways that you are going to dial in your intuition to be able to receive these types of messages and communicate with your higher self, to be able to communicate with source, to be able to live and walk your path. Because my friends, it is not time to master someone else's system. It's time to master your system, your soul, and your truth with you and God source divine. That's what we need to master. Not anyone's paradigm, anyone else's way of doing things, way of seeing things, ways of healing, ways of living, none of that. This is about you and your soul's path. And that is what my work is designed to give you and to lead you to. I don't want you to do things my way. I don't want you to do things Bobby, Sally, Joe's way. I want you to do things your way. And I want you to understand how to listen to your body, how to listen to your soul, how to listen to God, and then to live from this aligned place. Because this is when we see and create our soul-led path. So one-on-one work, doing a session, releasing those blocks, anything that is clearing, that is in the way of the windshield of you seeing your perfection and your divinity and your health and your vibrancy and your abundance. That's a one-on-one session. A health report is going to give you the exact root cause of what is standing in the way of you being your full, vibrant, vital self. And not only that, but because health is about so much more than just what you eat. I'm going to tell you what would be best for you on all of that, but also your human design, your gene keys, your astrology, and everything that plays into you being fully aligned in your health and body. And then the last thing would be the miracle frequency, to have these actionable steps of every day stepping into living, breathing, walking miracle. Magic, miracles, synchronicities, and every moment of every day. All of the links for those will be below. And with that, I'm just sending you all infinite love and light.